If you're a fan of Tumblr and hilarity, you no doubt have heard of Dashcon, the convention for Tumblr/unmitigated disaster. It was held over the weekend in Illinois and was expected to have at least 3,000 attendees and such awesome guests as Doug Jones, the Welcome to Night Vale podcast, and one of my favorite comic book creators, Noelle Stevenson. What they ended up doing was this.
Okay, if everyone would like to collectively, groan and sigh together, that's what I've been doing, so we can take a second to do that. So on 3, we're all gonna sigh together, okay? So 1, 2.
Give me back my money!
Okay.
The guests weren't paid for their appearances as promised, so they mostly withdrew, and their hotel rooms weren't taken care of. Hotel mints were given away as consolation prizes. The game room had 1 TV and 1 console. Noelle Stevenson was sleeping on the floor of another guest's hotel room that they paid for by themselves, by the way. Panels didn't have moderators. And what was the con's answer to the people who paid for VIP seating for Welcome to Night Vale, the main guest of honor event? That did not happen. Raffle ticket? And a free hour in the ball pit? For clarification, this is the ball pit. Disaster. By the way, a lawsuit could emerge from that, as the ball pit did not have an original entrance fee. It gave no comparable value to compensate for purchased tickets, and the raffle prizes may actually be the perks that were designated to Indiegogo donors. And they sold tickets for Steam-Powered Giraffe, who apparently was never properly booked in the first place. And they wanted to show screenings of Pacific Rim and Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog without the rights. Since this was a con based around fervent bloggers, news of these issues spread almost immediately. I know first-year cons are notoriously difficult and tend to be rocky even with the most careful planning and professionalism, but this was exceptional. What has people most upset is that on the first day the convention claimed that they needed to raise $17,000 or the hotel would kick them out because they suspected upper management didn't like the people at the con. The Renaissance Hotel told people who asked that this was not true. Perhaps it was a scam. Perhaps the money untransparently went to unspecified legitimate purposes. It was never made clear. And that's the kind of thing that's important to know when you're asking people to turn out their pockets toward a cause they were undoubtedly passionate about and ready to help make happen. You owe it to the fans. That's what cons are about, at their hearts. Sorry to be a downer, convention runners, but while fans are there to bask in the glow of their favorite fandoms and meet other like-minded people and enjoy themselves, it's your job to make sure that happens the way it's supposed to. In this case, there are very detailed posts and chat logs about how organization fell apart. People were told to raise money for one thing that went to another. Committees didn't have clear leadership or goals. Ideas for a web series were nearly executed without agreement in the ranks. Super Hulock fans got most of the preference. It was, in short, a huge mess. I've worked for large conventions before as a contractor, and I've seen my share of huge debacles behind the scenes between otaku and business types. And I have to say, there needs to be a balance. For a good con, no side should be dominating over the other. And I understand that no one who sincerely loves something enough to make a con about it really goes in with the precise business know-how. But when you have other people's money in your hands, you can't fuck around. And that applies almost universally. Maybe not everyone should be running a con, and maybe as con-goers, we unfortunately have to scrutinize even well-run cons a little harder.